Hello. Welcome back to my channel. By the way, I appreciate you all stopping by and listening to my story. I think my life is very not that significant, and for some reason, I guess you all want to listen to it. So I thank you. My original goal was to make this video for my kid and maybe my future grandkid, so that they kind of have an idea, who his dad is or his grandpa is. So. But anyway, today I'm going to try to talk about my life when I was in Vietnam, actually in Saigon city. I mean, I don't remember much. As a young kid, I don't remember much when I was born. When I was born in Nha Trang in 1964, but by looking through the picture that my parents have, I kind of estimate, the timeline where we at, and from there on, from my memory, that I can, recite what I would remember. So here we go. So I guess the picture I saw was my mom was carrying me as a little baby in the house that we live in Saigon. So I would estimate that we probably moved to Saigon in 1965. And my parents decided to buy a house in pretty much a blue collar neighborhood. So the neighbor is not poor, but they all work hard to make a living. It's not they dirt poor, but we don't have much. We just have a good house, a good roof on our head, and all that. And the time I remember when I go to elementary school, the school is like almost 2 kilometers from my house. So every morning, Mom would walk me to school, go home, and then when I come out, Mom would walk to school and pick me up and go. And we both walk back to home. And then sometime, I guess I was a kid that always kind of get in trouble. So they try to keep me busy. So they send me to private school after I finished the public school in the morning. So around maybe 1 p.m., I have to go to a private school until like 5. I mean, literally, it's weird that kids just go to the private school and relearn what they did during daytime. So until I think when I'm about 3rd grade, that Mom finally give up. I told her, you don't have to walk with me to school anymore. And Mom was like reluctant to do that. I mean, after all, after my twin sister passed away during a premature born, so I guess I'm the only one left that she have. And I think by then, 64, Mom would be 31 years old. So I guess I'd be the last kid that she planned on having. So she kind of like pretty much treasure me, So I guess people say I'm spoiled. I guess I am spoiled, but I don't think so. But anyway, growing up as a kid, Mom would have a hard time, as a baby, she was having a hard time feeding me with regular formula. She tried all different, even expensive formula. I still having problem. I always have diarrhea, all that stuff. So finally, I found one milk that I can drink. It's the cheapest milk that you can find, which is condensed milk. Believe it or not, condensed milk. So I guess now that I think back, even nowadays, I'm still kind of lactose intolerant, so I can't be handling raw milk. But anyway, I mean, life is pretty comfortable back then. But during that time, Vietnam is, in the war. Of course, you all know about the war in Vietnam, that the Americans had to come over and help the South Vietnam army out because they couldn't defend themselves. I mean, they don't have the resource. They don't have the whole know-how to fight off communism from the North that keep trying to come down and fighting and take over the South. So I guess for Vietnam has always been at war for thousands of years. I mean, let's think back here. During a long time ago, China was always kind of like, for 1,000 years, from the history that I learned, for 1,000 years, Vietnam was under control of the China. I mean, they didn't take over our country, but, we always have to, go give and, be obedience to them, otherwise they're gonna come take our country. And then when the French colonized Vietnam, and they actually colonized Vietnam for 100 years. And then in 1945, with all the stuff going on, with the World War II, all that stuff, in the Southeast Asia, they had problems over there too. So the Russia was the one that backed in the North Vietnam government to fight off. Actually, back then there was no North Vietnam. It's still, the whole country is under French control. But there is a rebellion, people that always try to fight the French. So, I mean, these people are fighting with the passion. Because to us, our country is controlled by a foreigner. I guess that's why the Vietnamese people in the North, even after the French left Vietnam, they still think American is another colonizer country, come and try to control our country. So there was a misunderstanding. So the people in the North always, like they were poor, but they were willing to give up half of whatever their food they have, even send their kid to go down south and fight for the freedom for Vietnam. Because they brainwashed them saying that the American is like the bad guy, get them out, fight to get them out. But enough of that. Let's talk about, let's see. So that back from 1970. No, let me backtrack here a little bit. I was thinking, so when I was born, 64, 65. So I guess Dad was working for a American contractor whose import, like broken air conditioner or refrigerator or eye chest, whatever, from America, and then bring it to Vietnam, fix it up, and then resell it to the South Vietnam government. So for some reason he got imprisoned for like a whole year for political reason. So he learned English from books. He taught himself English from reading the book because he already have a good background in French. So once he get out of prison, he worked for this company for like, I would say until 70. Because I remember Dad used to take me to work with him as a young kid. Back then I didn't go to school yet, so I go with him. I swear, he used to have a Liberator, like almost like a Vespa, almost similar to that, Vespa scooter. So he'll let me stand in between and then, I ride with him to work and hanging out with him. So that's the only memory I have about it. He was like a manager. I mean, It was not a big shop, but it's big enough that they have like almost 20 employees that fixing up the machine. So he was like a manager because he speak English and Vietnamese fluently. So he's be like a middleman for the boss. There he had the boss, and then he have him running that place. And then 1974 or 73, something like that. After he have a lot of good deal that his boss give him, I think I told about this when a little bit earlier about my video on a little bit myself, that there's American, give rice to the South Vietnam, but they deliver it to Thailand, so they need somebody to bring it from Thailand to Vietnam. So it's like a little side job that his boss told him, hey, why don't you take a little side job here and make some money? So he did that for about a year or two, and he make a lot of money. I mean, I think at the end, Mom bought almost like 200 ounces of gold. So he figured, man, I have enough money. I don't want to work. I'm gonna be a contractor to work to fix roads and water pipe and construction for the government, make better money. So he did decide to get out and be on his own boss. But unfortunately, in 1975, actually, it's April 30th, 1975. That's when the communists came in. I guess they already have that talk in Paris about America already talked with the North Vietnam government that, hey, we just gonna give up and you just come in and take over. That's what it all boiled down to. Because there was no fighting during that day. Everyone just left. They just take their clothes up, drop their gun, and they just wear their underwear and walk home. But before that happened, his boss already told him like a month ahead of time, like, hey, you need to get out of the country. His boss is American, but he doesn't live in America. He moved his family to Australia because he say, America, tax you to death, so you need to. So he moved to Australia, and he told that, hey, if you want, I can take you to Australia. And my dad say, no, it's okay, I'm okay. But then at the end, he decided to take the whole family to try to escape, because during that time, there's a lot of boats that had, I guess there's a bunch of American Navy boats that wait outside where the international water is. And anybody that can get on the boat and get out there, they will take you to America, So everybody's scrambling around to go find a way to get out there. And we already have a plan, but somehow the boat that we get on is stuck inside the river, and in order to get out to the open sea, you have to go through many bridges, and a lot of bridges like that, they already booby-trapped with grenade. And we even pay the people to disarm all these grenades, but they took the money and never did. But we ended up stuck behind. So during the night of the 29th of April, we was on that boat getting to get out of there, but we never made it. So on the morning of April 30th, we saw the tank, the communist tank, marching in through the bridge with the red and yellow star that you see nowadays, the Vietnam flag, current Vietnam flag, going through the city. So we ended up, I guess we had to go home. Can't hang around here, All right. I'm going to try to stop here at 15-minute mark. I will catch you later on the next video, okay? Oh, by the way, I'm debating whether I should keep these vlog private. But if you are interested and keep on listening to this, do me a favor, put something down in a comment, and give me an idea whether I need to leave this public or I need to go in private. And if I do put it in private, I guess I'm gonna let people listen to it by invitation always. So give me an idea. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.